millions of views, hundreds of videos from Charlie, Blocka, me, Billy, Honey Cocaine. The list goes on.
Chills on the
Chills on
beat,
the beat.
Yes,
the
sir.
genius. This is like when Tori used to even come to us and try to come on stage with us. So he used to beg.
That's a fact. Tory Lanez, but we didn't know how to like take it to another level. If you know Cousin Charlie and if you know Tory Lanez, if you've chilled with these guys, especially when they're younger, they are literally like two exact people.
But I had so much artists. I like I said, like I just named like what 6, 7 artists.
I think
So I
almost
couldn't,
10, bro.
yeah, exactly.
If I
Even
was
at
this
one
guy,
point, Bundog and them wanted to be come to the
Wow.
studio. This is way before Preston them started rapping.
Charlie was giving him the game of how to do this and that. They've actually said it in interviews.
This is when she started signing with Tiger. Trying
She
to
didn't
sign
sign with
with
Tiger because
Oh, see, I didn't even know all that, but I did know that I was there. She did go on tour with Chris Brown and Tyga.
Chills on the beat.
What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Chills on the Beat. I'm back again. Today's topic or today's video, I'm gonna react to. Well, I just seen Billy Burnz had an interview with We Love Hip Hop, and I peeped it a little bit, and then I stopped when I seen that he said my name. And when I seen that he said my name, I said, you know what? Let's react to this. This is some good content. You know what I mean? So you guys can know my backstory of how I came in this music industry. They had a real big effect on my career. If you don't know, I was signed to Certified Cash in 2011. After I got signed, a lot of things happened. Honey Cocaine gets signed to Tyga. A lot of mix up and up and down moments, but it was a great experience. And when I drop my documentary, you guys will get to see more information. I think they're gonna drop a documentary, hopefully tells the real story, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, let's react to this. Billy Burnz, We Love Hip Hop. Shout out to We Love Hip Hop once again, Friday. And let's go.
like Tiger wanted to fuck with her. Tiger started messing with Honey.
Honey Cocaine.
Honey Cocaine. And a little after that, I would say, like a little after that, she started moving a little bit different. Like by that time, the channel had
Let
maybe
me stop
100
it
and something
quick.
videos.
So to give you guys a little context of what's going on. So basically, he's talking about why he deleted the videos of all the Certified Cash videos that we had, millions of views, hundreds of videos from Charlie, Blocka, me, Billy, Honey Cocaine. The list goes on. So he's explaining what was going on those times around 2011, 2012, 2013 ish, and before he did that, I guess Tyga, the whole Honey Cocaine drama, I think that's what the beginning of the end was. Well, Certified's not done, but I mean the beginning of the end of that era when I was there. So that's where he's starting off with. Well, at least that's where I'm starting this video off with.
We were a full-fledged label, and artist. She was one of them. Cousin Charlie was one of them. Black of the Dom.
Free my nigga. Free my nigga Cousin Charlie, man. That's my brother, you know what I'm saying? If you don't know, now you know. He's one of my closest friends or my closest friend, and we have such a great relationship. Like we can be in the studio together and like not make any music and just talk about life. But he will be making his music, you know what I mean? But point I'm trying to make is it's more than just music, but music brought us together, you know what I mean?
OTS Gates, what he used to be called Troy Gates, was one
Shout
of
out to
them.
OTS Gates,
Yeah.
aka New York.
Sheffy.
RIP my nigga Goonie, if you know, you know. Shout out to my niggas from Jane and Wilner. I used to live there for like 2 months. You know what I'm saying? So I know a little bit of background history. He used to be called New York when I was in Wilner and the hood and stuff like that. But now he's OTS Gates. He's doing his thing. He's having a good year. He had a great back and forth with 100 watts. You know what I mean? So go peep his music. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to OTS Gates.
He was one of them. Who else?
Yo, that's crazy.
Who else? And who else might I forget?
This nigga said M. Shout out to M. M is the manager. M was the manager for Certified Cash. Good dude. Shout out to him. I haven't seen him in a long time. Very good dude. But Billy, you know the names of the niggas you signed. You made a whole 20-page contract. So stop acting like you don't know names, especially my name. I take offense to shit like that. Cause come on, my nigga, you know who the fuck we are. You know what I mean? But
Stardust Prince was one of them. Yeah, Stardust Prince was one of
shout out to
them.
Starlight Prince.
You know, Chills on the
Chills on
Beat.
the beat.
See,
Yes, sir.
Genius.
See,
And
Genius was actually the home producer for Certified like longer than me. Before I came there, he was doing his thing and he disappeared. But he has to say my name before Genius because nobody knows Genius, respectfully. You know, Genius quit long time ago. So you can say Genius's name, but nobody's gonna really know. You know what I mean? So you gotta say Chills on the Beat because Chills on the Beat still relevant, still doing his thing. You know what I mean? So shout out to Billy. Without Billy, probably won't be no Chills on the Beat. At least I can admit that. You know what I mean? I was doing other shit before I met Billy, and Billy taught me the game, the business, the marketing, and all of that. And I actually made my name Chills on the Beat when I got signed. So I got to give Billy that credit.
was this all at the same time, bro?
Yeah, all of them were on the label. So it was
All
at
of
the point
us.
where this was actually 2009 though, right? When I came
We
out
had
of
a
jail,
dream team, man.
started the label. Like even this is like before. This is like when Tori used to even come to us and try to come on stage with us. So he used to beg.
That's a fact. Tory Lanez, we were the guys. Like Certified Cash was the hottest label in the 2010s. Like there was no BFR. BFR is like a branch off us because BFR learned from Cousin Charlie and how to do the business and stuff. And Cousin Charlie learned from Billy and Certified. So we were the first BFRs. We were the first whatever label you want to say is in Toronto running it. We were the first. It's just that it was a different time. There was only Facebook, Twitter, but there was no TikTok, Instagram. It was a whole different time. Instagram came a little bit later, so we didn't know how to. I don't know. I don't know what the word is, but we didn't know how to like take it to another level. You know, I guess is the word I could say because we had the talent. You know, we knew how to market here and there, but we were kind of like at this level. I think a lot of personal stuff was happening, girls, all this fuckery was happening, and it made us just drift apart, and everybody wanted to do their own thing, and then that was like the end of that era.
To cut and that's Tory Lanez. You know, he used to run it because him and Charlie were like best friends, and they used to have the
Yep, yep.
little rap competitive battles all
That's
the
a
time.
fact.
And,
That's a
back
fact. I
and
can
forth.
vouch for that.
And this is all even young Tory.
If you know Cousin Charlie and if you know Tory Lanez, if you've chilled with these guys, especially when they're younger, they are literally like like two exact people. Like they're both extra hyper. They're both short. They're both have bars for days. Can freestyle and battle each other. Tory Lanez can sing though, so you know Charlie. I think Charlie can, but he doesn't. Tory Lanez is in his bag with the singings. You know what I mean? But even back then, but those guys are so similar. You know what I mean? It's like two Tory Lanes or two Charlies, you know, in one room when you chill with these guys. So yeah, Tory Lanez was definitely, you know, running with us and trying to get on stage and trying to fuck with the mandem. You know what I mean?
You tried to sign with us at one point, but I had so much artists. I like I said, like I just named like what 6, 7 artists.
I think
So I
almost
couldn't,
10, bro.
yeah, exactly. So because I was trying to bring the whole hoods to all the hoods together,
Yeah,
which
that's
I
a fact.
did.
Billy really had different hoods in one studio. Like he had like hoods beefing. Like I just said, like OTS Gates, he's from Jane and Warner, and Charlie's from Treachway, and their hoods were beefing. But there was no beef in our certified circle. We were all love. We were all because we were all there for music. Like we never were on some fuckery. We didn't do any drugs and shit like that. We're just smoking weed and shit and just making music. So we were only down to make music, and we all became friends and family. It was a one big family. Billy used to cook for us, and that's what Certified Cash was. It was certified family.
I literally did that. All the different hoods that had problems with each other, all the artists were under the same roof.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So all
That's
like
a fact.
from artists from Jane,
I'm from
Brampton,
Parkdale,
all over
so
the place.
I didn't
But
have
the
no
point is, different
problems with
artists
none of
wanted
these
to
guys'
jump on
hoods.
board.
My
Even
hood
at
was
one
good.
point, Bundog and them wanted to come to the
Wow.
studio. This is way before Press and them started rapping.
Way
All
before.
this was
Yeah.
YBK days.
Okay.
Cousin Charlie, he has a pic of Pressa. Hopefully I can find it and I'll put it in this video. He has a pic of Pressa looking so young, and he brought him to the studio, and that was Pressa's first studio session. Charlie knows them from like Fresh Kids days. I guess they had like a little group or something like that. And Charlie was in the bin with Bonso, who's Bundog, and Charlie was giving him the game of how to do this and that. They've actually said it in interviews and brought his name up and vouched for him and thanked him basically. But yeah, they were close, and at that time I didn't know that. I just remember him posting that Pressa pic, but that I didn't really. I'm like I said, I'm from Parkdale, and I didn't really care about like the Jane Strip guys that much. So just being honest, but that's the truth. Like we had this whole city on lock. Like there was a lot of haters too, but that's what it comes with, right?
Because Charlie used to be best friends with Bundog.
Okay. Big
See, now Charlie used to always vote like, yo, bring Bundog to the studio, bring those guys to the studio. And it's not like
I will say this though.
Yeah,
Charlie used to always tell me about Bundog and all those. The reason why I'm even saying Bonso is because he used to say his name like crazy before I even knew who Bundog was. So he used to tell me all these stories and stuff like that. And so I guess he did try to bring them to the studio a lot. And I could see Billy saying no, because he had a lot of niggas already. He had like 10 niggas. He had PRs in his team, managers. Like I just said, shout out to M. He was one of the managers. So he had a lot of people in the team, and it was all about a vision. It wasn't about getting paid right now. It was all about we all gonna blow and get this deal, which we almost did. We almost had the deal. The deal was on the table. Well, basically we did have the deal, but the whole label was just all fucked up, so the deal got scratched off. But it almost became true, and to the point where he's doing his thing right now, and he's signed to Rock Nation, so he's still doing his thing. You know what I mean? Shout out to Billy. He's a businessman, and because of him, I'm a businessman, and I know my business, and I don't let nobody play with my catalog or my publishing or none of that.
Yeah, he was already rapping. Remember, they had YBK and three of them were rapping and thing. So it wasn't like say I never wanted to bring him to the studio, but at the time I was trying to bring the hoods together. And like to be honest, those niggas, like a lot of niggas were doing different things that we were trying to do. I was trying to get out the streets, niggas were still in the streets.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like I had so much artists, I couldn't focus on other artists. So maybe man thought I was trying to diss them back then, but it wasn't even that. It just had so much art.
It makes sense, like he had a lot of artists, and I think that's why a lot of people started hating after, because he was signing people from different hoods and different that, and if your hood was, or if you're left out, you might feel away. You know what I mean? Because back then there wasn't the outlets we have now. So Certified wasn't outlets. He gave me a platform to get my own thing going, my own motion. You know what I mean? So you got to look at it like that. A lot of people really wanted to be a part of it. They may not want to admit it now, but it's just the truth. I don't care what you say. I was there, and I seen it with my own two eyes.
Artists, so I couldn't even focus on no new artists.
Yeah, you had a lot on your plate already.
I did, man.
Yeah. All right,
man. And even like you kind of really asked with the Honey thing. So we had a lot of artists, and around those times, Honey got
This is when she started signing with Tiger.
She didn't sign with Tiger because she was still on a contract with Certified Cat.
Oh, see, I didn't even know all that, but I did know that I was there. I was there with Honey. She invited me to the club to meet Tyga and all that stuff, and I was there. You know what I mean? And she did go on tour with Chris Brown and Tyga. I was under the assumption she was already signed with them and stuff like that, but it probably makes sense. He did have us on contract. This real legit contract, real legit label, and 20 pages. Like I remember I had 20 pages on mine, so I know she had at least 20 on hers. He's not just letting, and then he made a new contract after to make sure that that situation with the honey cocaine never happens again. Like he's funny, dog.
So he can't sign when you know what I mean. So I was in conversations though with I think it was T-Rel when T-Rell was Tiger's manager, or I don't know if it was his manager or what he was at the time, but
Yeah.
I was talking to T-Rell and
Okay,
stuff.
I remember her getting
You know,
shot
he was telling us a lot
and
of
all
things,
that
and they
stuff.
asked us
So
how much we wanted for her, and I'm
I
just
didn't
like,
know all
bro,
that.
like she still needs development, but whatever. And I just said a number and whatever, but then I didn't even hear from
They
them
didn't even
after that
pay.
because then Last King wasn't really a label yet.
You're right.
You know,
Yeah,
because Tiger was still
Last Kings was like a clothing line. You know, I think he was trying to make it a label, but even he was dealing with his own label issues. So I don't know what he was trying to do.
signed to what's his name. But then after that, now after she switched up and everything, and then I was going through some other cases. This before I got my pardon.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in the process of trying to get my pardon. I'm in the process of doing other things. They're switching up on me every.
Yeah, there was a lot of shit going on, man. Like with the Charlie went to the band, the studio got raided. I remember Mellon was in the studio making beats, and he's just a nice white guy, nice dude. He's not on no street shit. Imagine you're making beats and the police kick down the door and everything. Like damn. So it was a lot of crazy. I was so happy I was not in the studio that day though. I do remember that. There was a lot of things going on, a lot of things behind the scenes that I can't obviously say. But it was still a good time. It was like one of the best times in my music career because I was so fresh in the game, so excited. I seen one of my artists who I'm working with start blowing up. Well, not blow up, but work with a person who's famous and stuff like that. So I was like, man, if she can make it and she's lazy, I can make it because I all I do is work. You know what I mean? But it was definitely a great time.
Yard. All these guys want to go their own way up and honey switch, and you know everybody want to do their own thing. So to be honest, I was just cheese. I was cheese one
I'll
day,
say
and I
this,
just
Billy. You know, I'm talking to you on this. Nobody was following Honey Cocaine. Maybe Charlie, I don't know, but that's not why. First of all, when she left, we still stayed for like a year. We dropped like 3 albums. Me and you, I produced on 3 of your albums. So I did not follow nobody. It was just a lot going on. You know what was going on, and it was just time for an end. You know what I mean? But me and you, we continue working with each other later on. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was always all love. You know what I mean? But we ain't follow no fucking Honey Cocaine. We ain't do it because she left. I didn't come in because of her. So why would I leave because of her? You know what I mean? So that don't really make no sense.
lead of the channel.
Damn, bro.
With millions of views.
Yeah.
Hundreds of
I'm happy you're
videos.
admitting
A lot
it.
of people's probably first
Because
music
for a
video.
long time it
A lot of
wasn't
people's whole career.
a
Damn.
great answer.
Yeah.
So
Hold on, a lot of
let's stay
people's
on
whole
that for a
career,
second.
not mine.
Because after you deleted the chat,
Maybe Charlie. I can't even say Charlie. Charlie started over again and bounced back. But I remember when it got deleted. I was cheesed, but it wasn't like I knew. Okay, I'm gonna start my own YouTube channel, and I started doing my own thing. As soon as you deleted that and everything, we had movie and yeah, it was a lot of things going on. Actually, yeah, I don't know. All I know is I was mad, but I was like, okay, watch. You think like it's over? I'm gonna keep going, and I kept going, and now look, years later, still here.
channel, people must have been
Of
cheese.
course. Charlie was
Charlie was cheesed the
Blanco
most.
was cheese. Everybody.
I didn't even know Blanco was cheese.
How, so what was going on around that time? Was man's like, what were they saying?
Bro, man, they weren't telling me it because, like, to be honest, and I'm not.
I mean, they weren't, but me and
try
you
to
talked
like
about
on
it.
some
Definitely talked
untouchable
about it.
gangster nigga or whatever. But
We weren't like
I was
getting
on
at each other on some
like I was
gangster
halfway
shit.
in the streets,
But I
halfway
remember
like
us
just
having a conversation on the phone about it. You know what I mean? I definitely remember that. So it wasn't a good move. It was one of those moments where, because I remember you telling me like you tried to get it back and YouTube said no and shit like that. You know, like it hurt because we really did love those moments. You know what I'm saying? So to see that all gone, it was crazy. But look what happens. A fan posted it. All those, not all, a lot of the videos, he posted it back. And most of the videos he posted was the ones I produced or I'm featured on as an artist. So I'm happy about that. Thank you to that fan, whoever that is. I think he's one of my fans, to be honest with you. But if he's my fan, he probably came from you guys. So I'll give you guys that. But point I'm trying to make is it all worked out. It came back. A lot of the songs came back. So I'm good. I'm happy. I ain't cheesed about it anymore, at least.
came out of jail. I started a label. I had all these niggas around me, and I wasn't the best. Like, I'm not gonna say, like, I did set a good example in a sense. Like, I
Say
tried
it,
to tell
Billy.
them, yo, stay out the streets, like music,
Nah, I'm playing.
studio, to the point
I'm gonna
where,
keep it being.
bro, my
Nobody's
guns on
perfect, but Billy was also young. Like he was probably, his second, third year in the music game, and a lot of emotions and happens and stuff like that. But Billy definitely taught us a lot. He was like our big bro. And it's life, man. It's life. Block is still doing his thing. Charlie, he was doing his thing before he got in a situation. Even I think Sheffy was doing his thing. OTS Gates is out here. So it's life. Things don't last forever. You know what I mean? But those moments do, and those memories do, and we always gonna cherish those moments forever.
Table, like niggas can't leave the studio till music is done. Like, like I'm like
Huh.
on some bad
I
man
remember
shit.
him having
Nobody can leave.
guns and
He
shit,
was,
but he never did
That's
that
some
around
hype
me.
shit,
Like
though.
he
That's what I'm
did
saying,
told
but
us how
real talk is facts. No cap.
I used to
Yeah.
go to the studio and I'm staying there for 3-4 days because this nigga wants beats on 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 beats. I used to have to make an excuse to get out of the studio, so I'll definitely will vouch for that. But I just realized this video is about 20 minutes that I've already in. I might do a part two on it, might not, who knows. But I don't think I need to. 20 minutes is good enough. You guys already heard enough from my voice. And if you're still watching, thank you very much. Please comment, like, share, tell your friend, tell a friend, spread the word. Chills is back. Chills is doing commentating, sports reactions, analysis, beats, AI, all of that. So spread the word. I'm out here. Thank you once again. And shout out to everybody who's showing love. Shout out to this platform, We Love Hip Hop, for doing what they do for the city. And I'm out. Chills on the beat.